What are you up to these days? What does Daryl Morey do for the Houston Rockets at this very time of year?
Right now, I'm sitting in a bus outside so I can get quiet background at practice.
Appreciate that.
We're buzzing here. I know everyone says everyone's happy in October, but the buzz here is we're very confident at this point. We're better than last year, and obviously we're going to need to prove that. But a lot of the new folks we brought in are really showing us stuff, and we're excited. We got to do it when the rubber meets the road. But we're buzzing, and the phones are buzzing too. I mean, it's pretty active, to your point, NBA Twitter right now, given camp just started. Usually not a much buzz, but there's a lot of trade buzz in the air.
So in terms of the guys that you did acquire that are there under contract, you told the Houston Chronicle that a high percentage of the decisions you made this offseason were in mind to beat the Warriors. How does that all compute with the guys that you got?
Yeah, I mean, we know that if we're going to win the title, it's almost for sure we're going to have to beat Golden State. Obviously, we're going to beat a lot of other teams, but they've won 3 out of the last 4 to the road. The road goes through Golden State. I mean, there's no spinning that. And so James Ennis, Carmelo Anthony, Michael Carter Williams, they're all Brandon Knight. We haven't had a chance to see yet. Marquise Chris is doing well in camp. I mean, they're all fitting in quickly, and we're excited about them. I would say both maybe Melo and James Ennis are both really standouts early here in camp.
Why are you so open about talking about the Warriors, Daryl?
I think it's weird to not talk about them. Rich, if you asked a fan on the street, and you get to do that a lot, I think, and you said, what should the Houston Rockets be doing? They would say, well, geez, the Warriors are so good. They got to beat. It's almost silly to not talk about it, right? I mean, they are a historically great team. Maybe we'll go down as the best NBA team ever. So it seems to me, you'd have to be in complete GM speak, coach speak, to not talk about the Warriors and talk about how we have to beat them.
So what do you think is the way to beat them, Daryl? Based on what you have, your analytics.
Well, we would have done
thoughts?
it if we had. I think we're going at it the only way possible, which is you've got to be able to space the floor, shoot the three. You got to be able to be in transition. You have to have players who can guard multiple positions and stay with. Coach Kerr does a great job, and their offensive system is a lot of movement. You got to have guys who can play and defend those. So we feel like we've got the best approach, but frankly, obviously, we haven't done it. So, but as soon as someone does it, we'll try and copy that if that happens. But hopefully, that's us. Hopefully, everyone's copying us next year.
What about the amassing of bona fide all-star players, the so-called super team?
Yeah, no, that's a huge part of it. I mean, and to go back to what we talked about earlier, when potentially there are players available, my job, my staff's job is to look at that for that reason. The only way to beat the USA basketball team is to, have the USA basketball 1A, have the 1B team and have the 1A team, right? The team in practice. So, I mean, we need to have as much talent as possible, and sometimes that doesn't always work, but it really gives us a chance, whereas not having a highly talented squad, you may as well pack it in.
Daryl Morey here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you think if Chris Paul's hamstring had not given way, you'd have knocked off the Warriors last year?
We do believe that. Obviously, that's unfair to the Warriors because, they could have beat us with Chris healthy, and they had Iguodala out. And it would have been nice given they have, arguably 4 of the top players in the league, and we, I think, are pretty comfortable that we have 2 of the top players in the league. It would have been nice if the injury luck had gone the other way, where we're at least knocking them down to 3 guys instead of us going from 2 to 1. So yeah, no, we do believe that we would have done that, but injuries are part of the game. So I mean, they won it, and we're chasing them down this year again.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.